Thank you. I've got that might not have been able to join this morning, and she was hoping to watch the recording.
Okay, perfect.
I've got it up on my computer too. I just wasn't sure how to do that.
Okay, so participants, can see my screen. Well, that doesn't do any damn good, does it? Does anybody know how to do this?
I can try it on my end also and see what happens.
Okay.
It looks like you had it, Steph, but then for some reason it keeps flipping back to all of us. And I don't know, you know me, I'm not the tech person. So sorry.
Steph,
yeah.
If you go into share screen and click on the little, there's like an arrow at the bottom as you're in as host, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, click on the arrow and make sure you've enabled screen sharing for participants. So right down the bottom, there's that square share screen with a little arrow.
Yeah. Multiple participants can share simultaneously.
As long as one can share, it's fine.
One participant can share at a time, or multiple participants.
I would say one, because you really want one person sharing. And that, if that's clicked, then she should be able to share her content. And then to share your content, does that make sense? Is that clicked?
So she needs to hit the share screen.
What? Actually, hi.
She's here.
I've been listening. So Steph, great. If you go to the right where you see participants and you see Amber's name, there should be 3 dots. You should be able to click on that, or you can let me reclaim host, but you can click on her name and you should be able to make her a host so that she can share her screen.
Okay, make host. There she is. Thank you, Deb.
You're welcome. I'm here. I'm just hiding.
Thank you. Okay, so now Amber, can you share that screen?
Okay, let me see what happens here. Share screen.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, I got it up on my end. Can we all see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay. Okay.
Okay, now let's everybody mute so that Amber can do her stuff.
Let me see if I can turn it into. Does anybody know how to make it a full screen, or should I just go with this?
If you go to slideshow where you had it.
Yeah, on the top left, it says from beginning. Just click that.
There you go. Yeah. You got it.
Yay. There we go. Now we're in business. Thank you for everybody's help. First of all, thank you for everybody, for Mountain Women, for having me. And this is incredible. And there is such a great turnout today. I'm super excited. And I hope if anybody has any questions at the end, or anybody wants copies of the presentation, certainly let me or Mountain Women know. We'll be happy to get it to you. There's a few slides I'm just going to go quickly through, so that way we can get through everything. For those, a lot of you already know me, but for those of you that don't, I'm Amber with Daddy's Homemade. We're based in Evergreen. My husband makes all of our homemade syrup. It's all natural. There's no artificial ingredients, no high fructose corn syrup or preservatives. Also got pancake mix and waffle mix. And we've got about 23 locations now, I believe. And we're interviewing some co-packers. We're at farmers markets and events throughout the year. And Danny just can't keep up with the demand. So it's a great thing to have, and I'm super excited to be sharing some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, because if I had no idea that this is where I would be 3 years ago, because I was one of those people that wanted nothing to do with social media and had a Facebook account just specifically to have my out-of-town family see pictures of the kids. And it's been a huge we started right before the pandemic, so it's been a huge way to help us get our products and our information out, our story out to everybody to be able to know what we're doing. We started on our breakfast foods and we started playing with it, putting it in our coffees, ice cream, adult beverages, popcorn, anything you want a little sweetener or flavoring to. We've got 3 young kids, all under 11, so they've my oldest is actually the one that helped make our labels, and they love experimenting with us and helping us do different things with it. and I went backwards here. Whoa, I don't know what I'm doing here. Bear with me. I went way too far. I'm going to go back through because I don't know how to get to the beginning here. Bear with me. Let's try this. Oh, right here. Sorry about that. So I have just a fun slide in here. I'm not going to go through all of it, but we all know how much social media has grown, and it is just crazy. And these are actually from probably about 6 months ago. So it's probably even more than that. So more than half of the world now uses social media, especially since the pandemic. There's so many more people that are using the social media platforms. There's more and more platforms. Everything's constantly changing. So it is just a great free way. Of course, they've got places where you can pay for different ads and things like that. But a lot of what we've been doing has been free, and we've been taking advantage of just doing different things throughout social media and marketing. So a few things that I've learned over the last few years, of course, timing is everything. You don't want to, they've got different insights on the different platforms for where you can, it may not be the best thing to post at 1 o'clock in the morning, for example, because of course, a lot of people are sleeping, not everybody, but kind of taking a look at different timing of days or times of when to post. Videos and live feeds, everybody loves them. I need to get better at them, but that's a great thing that people just absolutely love. Show up and be consistent. If you're just on there for a couple of weeks and then you're just getting frustrated because you don't feel like it's working, it won't work. But if you stay on top of it, even if it's once a week, whatever it may be, whatever your timing might be, that's the way to do it, because it will eventually, it doesn't happen overnight. But if you stay on top of it, it will. Post with intention, provide value, and keep it fun. We're not out there. Of course, we love to sell our products, but if you see our posts, I'm all about keeping it fun and sharing other businesses and what they're doing with some of our products and different events that we go to, and different ways of using our syrup. So it's a great way to play with it and not just tell people they need to buy our products, right? We want to keep it fun and find different things that will help people and provide that value. Using tags and hashtags is a huge help. One thing I have found that is great is local partners with local businesses. Sue's Bakery in Bailey, they use our syrup a lot for a lot of their baked goods, and they tag us, and then I see it, and then I share that content. And same thing with the farmhouse. Any local businesses that are using our syrup or have our syrup, and we tag each other, and it's just a great way for anybody that is also on my social media platforms as well as theirs. So it just kind of doubles your exposure to more people. You don't want to focus on the likes and follows. Sometimes that's hard. Facebook and Instagram and all the platforms are constantly changing, and it's frustrating. So you don't want to focus on those likes and follows, because it's not going to get you anywhere. If you just socialize with people, make sure you are paying attention. If people are commenting or liking, try to keep up with that and respond back to them and find ways to talk with them, because that's how they're seeing their product and they feel like they're being seen and being heard. One thing that we do is use a tool called Tailwind, and that helps us post there from just that one platform, and it'll post to Instagram and social media. There's all kinds of different tools out there that will do that. It is a huge time saver for me because I can schedule it ahead of time as much as I want, a couple days ahead, a month ahead, whatever I want to do. And it'll post to both of those platforms, but then I can still go in and do different things in there as well. Any kind of tutorial videos behind the scenes, people love that. It is a great way to capture more people in the audience. And don't give up. When I first started, I thought that it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't doing any good. I thought I was wasting my time, but that's not the case. I've definitely grown a following and had a lot of more people see us because of what I've been doing. So this is an example of one of our Facebook posts that you can see on the left-hand side. It's just lots of words. On the right-hand side, there's some companies that are in blue, and that's because I have tagged them. So when I do that, those companies are able to see the posts that I've made, and they're more likely to comment if they're able to. It doesn't always happen because I do it a lot. But if I do it just like I have on the left-hand side, then they're not going to see it. And it might pop up in their feed, but the chances are more likely if you're able to tag them. And if you have questions on that and how to do that, I'd be happy to help. It's a great way for people to see it. Same thing on Instagram. There's a way to tag people on Instagram as well. So that way it pulls up in their feed. A lot of companies also have a community tab, and it will actually feed onto their community tab when you're tagging them. And so it will pop up. And I've actually had a few companies like our label company, they have made offers where if you are posting them, they'll actually give you a discount on the order. So sometimes you get some different things like that as well. And then on the left side on this screen, this is Instagram. You can see that I've put hashtags. I think they allow up to 30 in the comments. I've heard different things, whether it's best to do it in the post or in the comments. I don't know. That's still up for debate, I think, with everybody. So I've tried it different ways. But that's another great way to reach out to more people and be able to have them see it. So does it work? Yes, it does. It absolutely does, but only if you're consistent, only if you don't give up, and only if you stay on it. We actually had a quick fun story last Christmas. I had an executive chef reach out to me from the American Express Centurion Lounge at DIA, and he actually found us on social media, looked up our information, looked up on a website, did some research, and wanted our products for an American Express customer giveaway that they did. And so they actually purchased 1,000 of our little 1.5 ounce jars that went down to DIA, and they gave them away to customers. And then I've had several people that have ordered more syrup from it. I have had people tag me on Instagram and social media, and some of these people are people that were coming through DIA, right? And they were going, this lounge was like a, top first class customer. You could only be a member to be in there. So, like 20, 30,000 followers that were tagging us on it. So it was a huge, it was a pretty exciting thing. So they wouldn't have found us if I wouldn't have been doing what I was doing on social media and staying on top of it. So one of the things we do is the Facebook groups. They've all got different rules, so you got to pay attention to that. But this is just a few of them that we have used. And as long as you're abiding by the rules, and some of them you can only post on Mondays, some of them you can only post on Tuesdays, just keep an eye on that. And again, if anybody has questions on that, I'd be happy to help. Of course, additional resources, Mountain Women in Business. There's also My Mountain Town, Macaroni Kid. There's different places that have events that you can post if you're doing events. I love that Rachel brought up the Voyage Denver, because I'm going to absolutely advocate for that as well, because we actually just got a Voyage Denver article on us as well. And I posted that out, and it's just been blowing up on social media. So it's one of those things. Same thing with Shout Out Colorado. I keep an eye out. If there is things that I see other people are getting featured on, I do some research and I look it up and I see how we might be able to do that. So those are great free ways of getting in to just expand your network some more. Of course, networking, local community, friends and family, your Mountain Women in Business, everybody's here to help. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Any local groups that you can get in, you'll notice on some of our posts, a lot of our posts, we try to tag the different businesses, the Mountain Women, the local chambers that we're in. That is a great way to, again, get more visibility to other people that might not see you. One thing I do want to mention, I made myself notes so I wouldn't forget. There's another place, Coffee on the Corridor. I posted that information in our in my little thing there in the chat. We one of those things completely by accident, but I have been doing the events report for Conifer Radio with the Coffee on the Corridor. So I created a Facebook group. So if anybody is doing any events, you're welcome to post in that group as well and share it. You can always email me with any events that you're doing. And if you don't know about Conifer Radio, I actually post, it's an internet radio. So I do all of the weekly events that are coming up. So I'm happy to share that for anybody in the mountain communities. So you can always do that. And then we are also I was talking with Lana at the farmhouse, and we want to do some, we were talking about doing some type of educational classes for mountain women in business. So kind of wanted to throw that out there for anybody that might be wanting to do something like that and be a part of that. And maybe the mountain women can help us figure something like that out as well. And I also real quick wanted to throw out that we're going to be doing another thing that we will be doing is we're getting these boxes together for the American Cancer Society. We're going to be doing a foundation fundraiser for that. So keep an eye out for that. Just another great thing that we try to partner as much as we can with other, not only businesses, but nonprofits. You might have seen we donate some products for like local silent auctions for schools, different things like that. So anything you can do to network and gather to get together with other businesses and local profits is a huge way to help network with others. Does anybody have any questions?
Not a question, but I just wanted to say you're absolutely right, Amber, about the consistency. I just know and set aside every Monday, I post on like 50 different local Facebook pages and things like that, and it's all free. And then I go back Tuesday and hit those couple extra ones that allow you only to post on Tuesdays. And it's helped me so much since I moved up here in 2014 to get known in this community, because I was all over Littleton and Metro Denver for many years, but it's hard to get known up in this community. And now some of my funnies, when you post a funny cartoon or you post a picture of animals or something along with your post, I've gotten anywhere from up to 5,000 to 10,000 hits on those posts. And who knows how accurate that is, who knows how many calls I get from that, but it's really helped. And it does take an hour of your time, at least, every Monday, but it's worth it. And it's just, that's awesome. I can't believe that those people from DIA did that. That's amazing. Real quick too, after this, I'll post the link to my Voyage Denver article on our page. And I'll ask Eric if it's okay to just post his information or his email where people could reach out to him instead of all of us overlapping who we're referring him to make these articles, but they help so much. And I also have connections at 285 Hustler and the Canyon Courier. And every once in a while, it's free. They just reached out to me because they heard about me somehow, and they'll do a picture of a full little ad in those newspapers for small business owners in the community. And it's awesome. And it's never cost me a thing. It's wonderful. So those are all great things, but your information was amazing. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's funny what people notice and react to. You just never know. My 11-year-old daughter was always giving me a hard time because she's like, you got to do the stupid, silly stuff. That's what people pay attention to. And it's true.
But it's true.
Amber, this is Audra. First of all, excellent presentation. I was actually taking screenshots of some of the things you were putting up there. So thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. Real quick question. Do you schedule in time like every single day or 3 days a week, or do you have time specifically blocked out for social media? Because I know with a lot of us, it's sometimes an afterthought, like, oh my gosh, I haven't posted something. I got to get out there and try to find something of value to at least get out there and keep my name out there.
That's a great question. I used to. I actually in November got laid off from my full-time job. So I'm doing this full-time now, which is a blessing in disguise because I wouldn't have been able to get through the holidays without that. When I was working my full-time job, I would have to be on hold a lot. So I would do some of my social media while I was on hold. I'm not going to lie, but I was still getting my job done. Or I would schedule it like during my lunches or during my breaks or whenever I could, because I got the 3 young kids. So I knew it wouldn't happen after school. I'm lucky enough to have those 3 young kids. So when I'm lucky, I can get them to help me with it. So if there's any, anybody that has any kids around, or sometimes I like to help. And if you teach them, they're a great resource. And then to be honest with you, because my schedule is so crazy and I do have the 3 young kids and I am doing this full time. I just do it whenever I can. But like Rachel said, for her, it works a lot better to do it full time. I've actually been in so many Facebook groups now that I got kicked out. I was told that I was posting too much last week. And then of course, when I had time to try to go back to some of the other groups, then I didn't get a chance to do it. So I was only able to post to some of the groups I wanted to, but it just really depends on your schedule and what works best for you. For me, it doesn't anymore to do that, but I know it used to be the best way to do it was just kind of schedule that time so I wouldn't forget.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
Did your kids make the picture in your logo?
They did. My oldest did. Yes.
I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, she actually had to draw each one by hand when we first started. And then we kept selling them, and that kind of became our bottleneck, so to speak. So
Wow.
she was very excited when we turned them into stickers.
Well, that's amazing.
Thank you.
So Amber, if you're done, can you send the,
Stop share.
yeah.
Thank Does that go back to you now?
I think it did.
It
What
looks
does
like
everybody see?
It looks
Just
like
Cindy has a
Cindy has a
question,
question, guys.
Okay.
I put this in the chat, but first of all, amazing presentation. And I will just acknowledge, as I normally do, I am such a social media resistor because I feel like if I'm
Yeah.
teaching mindfulness, it's really difficult for me to want to sit on my computer that much. So I want to say it, but I know I have to break through that also. And I really, if you're gonna, is it possible for you to send out a PDF of these slides? Because all the different sites you had or copy this presentation were so, like, what an amazing resource. So if that can happen, that would be great. But I will be in touch with you, Amber. I put something in the chat because I'd love to chat with you about some of these fundraisers and things that you're doing.
Absolutely. Yes. And I don't know how to turn it into a PDF, but I can certainly try to figure that out. But I'm happy to send
Or
it out.
if you don't mind sending the slides out, that's even, better yet, but.
Well, and this recording will
And if
be
it-
uploaded to the Facebook page.
Okay.
So that will, if that helps you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if anyone ever wants to, just email me. I have a list of like 50 Facebook local groups that you can join and post on that allow posting. Again, like Amber said, some of them are on certain days. And I understand, Cindy, I call it my necessary evil, because I'll get lost for 3 hours if I'm screwing around on the computer. And I purposely made myself leave it at home when I went on vacation with my best friend for a week recently.
Yeah.
And she was only allowed to let me check my phone like, once a day to make sure there weren't emergencies and things like that. But it definitely helps with small businesses, and it's free. That's the part that we can't argue with, because otherwise advertising costs a fortune. Especially get a story about you in a magazine or a newspaper.
Yeah, and I put that Voyage Denver article up on Facebook, and I got some amazing comments from people who never commented on my Facebook stuff. And but I also want to throw
That's
out there,
awesome.
and I'm going to do this from the perspective of a mindfulness teacher, that technology can be very addictive.
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
and I don't know, Kathy could probably nod to this one, right? And so there's that balance of getting yourself so addicted to your devices. And it actually is an addiction that's been classified along with all the other addictions, food, alcohol, drugs, all that stuff, right? Work. So I think there's that, to find that balance so you can promote yourself and still have peace of mind. Because what happens for me is I can get too crazy with, oh, did anybody see it? You post something on Facebook and I'm out walking the dog in nature and I'm looking at my phone and I have to go stop, take a breath, right? So find the balance, ladies.
It's meant to be addictive like that. If you've never seen the Netflix special, what was it called?
The social
networking
dilemma.
or the social dilemma. It's a scary, good resource to look at, especially if you have young kids and teenagers.
Yep.
And like,
thank,
like
Okay, so-
everything else, balance, that's all. So,
thank you for
I
bringing
think-
that up. I've got
I
some
think
kids,
Sue
my
had a
young
quick
kids are
question.
constantly asking me to
Oh.
keep that. Sorry. I was just gonna, yeah, my young kids are, if you, especially if you got kids, and make sure that you're paying attention to them too. And there's times when they'll try to take my phone out of my hands and make sure that I've got their undivided attention. So definitely.
Yeah. All right, Sue had a quick question, and then I think Katie has a quick question. So Sue, you're up.
Yep. I may have missed this. I apologize if I did because I was wrestling dogs. But was there an app that you use or anything special that you use to schedule your posts, like Hootsuite or any of those? Or do
Yes.
you just?
I use Tailwind. There's a bunch of them out there. That just ended up being the one that the gal that I work with for branding recommended. So
Why did she recommend that over some of the others?
It was something that she used and she was familiar with, and it was working well for her. Okay. So I haven't tried any other ones, but Tailwind has been great.
And is it fairly expedient for you? Is it fairly, what was the learning curve? Was it steep or not terribly steep?
Not terribly steep. I've been learning more as we go. And of course, just like everything else, they keep changing it. So I know there's more that I could be doing with it that I haven't had time to learn. But as far as the basics of it, it was pretty easy.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And it looks like, Sue, there was a couple of other recommendations that just were put in the chat if you want to check that out.
Yep.
Katie.
Hey, I just wanted to say I shared a spreadsheet too. It's probably the same one you're using, Rachel, that I sent you years ago. So there's a spreadsheet I shared to the Women in Business group that I do keep updated, and it's just the local groups. I'm sure Amber has a bunch more because I know there's not 50 there. I just did like Conifer, Bailey, Pine, Evergreen. All the groups are on there along with all the rules of being able to post to the group. So it's in the Mountain Women in Business group. If you can't find it there, let me know and I'm happy to share it with anyone. I find that the easiest method.
My extras. Sorry.
What?
I was just gonna say, the reason I have more is because I still advertise in Littleton and Highlands Ranch and Lakewood, where I used to have clients.
Right. So and I've like gone through to weed out groups that aren't active anymore, or like some of those Denver ones, but it just helps me to not get lost on Facebook. I can use that spreadsheet, go through, click the group, I like to put in whatever I posted in one of the other columns so that I know next week or whenever I'm posting again that I didn't, I'm not copying the same post. But I just did a big presentation for our franchise, all of our franchises about this because they don't really use Facebook. And the other nice thing is that think of it as like it stays on there, right? So all your posts that Amber or anyone's posting in these groups, they stay in the group. So when people go in to use these groups, if they actually use the search function, then you're going to pop up all the time. And it also will add to your Google too. So, but I'm very bad about social media and will spend way too much time on it. So the spreadsheet method has been helpful for me.
It sounds very organized.
I'm trying, I'm trying with the organization. That's the only thing I've been organized about for 7 years.
So I did Social Pilot when I was paying someone to do my social media for me, and you can set someone up as an admin in there. So you don't have to give them access to your social media accounts. You just give them access to that tool. It's called Social Pilot. And I had someone recently ask me for access to my logins. I'm like, no, you can't have that. You're nuts.
Yep. Before I forget too, Kathy has, she saw me on my posts on social media. So if she's still here, thank you for coming on as a guest and seeing my social media. Another example of that working.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
any other business announcements, Steph?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you.
Okay, well, thank you, Amber, for all of that information. I'm glad we got it recorded, so everybody will be able to go to the Facebook page and look at that. We do have a ton of different activities and upcoming events that you can just go on to the Mountain Women in Business website and take a look at. Let's see, is Pat around? Does she want to mention? She's kind of our event guru. It looks like she might have dropped off. So I would just encourage everybody
I'm sorry.
I would just encourage everybody to get on the website. If you do have upcoming events, just let us know. And we are happy to post and get the word out. So our next meeting, we should have the stickers to hand out. So I'm excited about that. I'm sure we all have the computers, windows, cars, water bottles to use on that. So, all right. If anybody, Jackie, sorry, you have your hand up, Jackie.
That's okay. I'm going to do a shameless plug here. I'm not very good at self-promotion, but I have been nominated as Ambassador of the Year for the Chamber of Commerce. So if anybody wants to vote for me, feel free.
Well, that's
Hey,
exciting.
you know
How
what?
can we go?
I'll throw the link down here, right? Give me a second.
Oh, perfect, Katie. Thank you.
That's it.
And maybe we can just send an email out to all of our group members, reminding them to go vote on for the conifer, because you don't have to be a member to vote, do you?
No, please
No.
vote. And if you check out the Conifer Chamber Facebook and Conifer Chamber Instagram page, I've been doing little blurbs about every single nominee so that you can actually because a lot of times we don't even know half the people, so I'm hoping that this will get more people to vote, but make sure you vote for Jackie. I put the link right there. And
Perfect.
if you go to the link, take a look and see in the other categories if there's other Mountain Women in Business that you can vote for too. And share the Facebook post and Instagram post for me, please. I'm trying to get their social media up back and running and doing well. Now that we have a new executive director, she will be taking that over, thank goodness. But I'm doing all this for the award. So
okay,
vote.
Way to go,
You don't have to
Jackie.
be a member and come
Let's
to the
get
awards.
it up there and get it voted. Perfect.
Way to go.
Love
This is Anne. If it's okay, we got nominated for Rookie of the Year and for Home-Based Business of the Year. So.
All right.
So vote for
Very
Ann,
good. Well,
too.
everybody just go on and vote for all of these ladies. So congratulations, Anne, Jackie. That's wonderful.
For those of you that were nominated, feel free to reach out to me. I've got tips and tricks. We were nominated for some of that last year and we posted it like crazy and we told everybody about it and we ended up winning. So I'm happy to share tips and tricks about that.
That'd be great.
And
Love
if you
that.
have a business location, brick and mortar, I noticed at the venue that they printed out a QR code for people to scan it and go vote easily. So if you have a brick and mortar business, that would be a good idea.
Great.
Very cool.
Great. Okay. Anybody
Thank
else?
you guys so much.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thanks, ladies.
Okay. Thank you. Have a great day. See you at the in-person meeting.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
You guys soon. Love y'all.
Okay, Deb, are you still around in there? Deb? Recording.